It's not just who you are, and this is why. A lot of people have this saying that this is just who I am, or this is just how I am, and they believe that because of the way that they've done things is the way that they'll always do things, and that's what keeps them trapped in life. If you don't take the time to actually evaluate what you're doing, try to actually code who you are by reprogramming your mind and actually take the time to build a new version of yourself, you'll always be stuck doing the exact same things you're currently doing, experiencing the same problems you're experiencing, and living the same life that you're currently living. Now, I'm Terrell Banks. I'm a normal, everyday dude who loves Forex, personal training, and finance. I love money. And lastly, faith. And if you can actually dial in who you want to be, how you want to be, and the things you want to do in your life, you won't just have to sit here and say, that's just the way I am, or that's just who I am. And you'll be able to actually dictate and code the life that you want to live. Now, I'm going to break this down in the simplest way possible so that you can make the most steps and strides towards your goals, towards your future, and becoming the person you want to be. So, first, you need to understand who you currently are because that same person, that same idea of that's just who I am is so ingrained within you that you probably haven't even evaluated what you're actually doing to see if you actually like it. Now, I'm going to say that again. You need to know and understand who and how you are to actually be able to understand if what you say, this is just how I am and this is just who I am, is even something you like. Now, well, the main reason I say that is I've talked to a lot of people, and I'm going to use fitness level for a handful of people because I've been in the fitness realm for so long. I can genuinely just say having a six pack is just how I am. I'm so used to being fit. I'm so used to being able to run. I'm so used to working out that that's what I do when I'm bored. When I'm sad, I go work out. When I'm bored, I go work out. When I don't know what to do, I'm just going to go work out. Whether it's run, lifting weights, doing jumping jacks, start doing push ups, there's something about that. But I've evaluated myself so much that I can say I love the fact that that's just how I am. But that took years of creation. That took years of playing sports. That took years of workouts. That took years of learning, experience, expertise for me to get to. But on the other hand, there's some people that I know who say, I'm just fat. That's how I am. I've always been fat. I always will be fat. And I'll really say, like, how does that make you feel? They'll be like, well, I don't like it. Like, I don't like being fat, but that's just how I am. And the biggest thing about that is no person under the sun is always going to be fat if they make different choices. If you choose to look at the world a different way and say, I am fit and I'm going to make myself fit, and I don't care that I have a big belly right now, I'm going to take the time to actually lose it, you will. You'll figure the steps out along the way. But there's some people who genuinely believe fat is a state of being that they will always live in. And so they will. And so they do. They perpetuate and do the things that are going to perpetuate fatness in their life to the point where they just have to accept disliking themselves and disliking who they are because they choose to be that person. And so the big thing I want to talk about is how do we actually reframe your mind to actually understand you can be someone else, how to become someone else, and how to take the steps to make that happen. Because that's the journey I'm currently on right now to become more financially fit, more mentally in tune, more spiritually guided, and more successful overall as a person. And so the first thing is you need to create a character. Actually, first, we'll jump back. You need to understand yourself. Before you can do anything, before you can make any change, you need to first identify how's your mindset, how's your physical state, and what are your habits. So we'll start with mindset. First and foremost, your mindset is the root of everything. There's a concept called be, do, have, which goes as who you are or who you're being dictates what you do, and what you do dictates what you have. And so when you can really break down what is going on in my mind, what is going on in my mind? Am I a negative person? Am I a lazy person? Am I a focused person? Am I consistent? Am I persistent? Whatever. If you can break down all the qualities and traits of your mindset, how you think about things, how you go about your day, how you think about money, how you think about fitness, then you can start to break all that down. Because once you know how you're thinking about things, then you can look at what you're doing and how you're doing it. Because once you know what you're doing and how you're doing it, then you can start to create correlation and pinpoint what you have in your life and why you have it, because it'll come from what you're doing and it'll stem into what you're thinking. So once you've actually gotten to that point of you've analyzed your mind, now you need to actually analyze physicality. What are you doing? Where are you going? Who are the people you're spending time with? Who are you talking to? What are the things that encapsulate your life? What are the things that, without thinking about it, you're going to do? For me, one habit that I have that I'm working on breaking is I know every single day, as soon as I leave the house, my mind instantly goes to what gas station am I going to get an energy drink. If I can start reframing myself of, all right, I'm out of the house, I got to get to the job site, and I start going straight to the job site, I will be able to change and reframe what I'm thinking about as soon as I leave. When I get home, I know first thing I'm going to do is go to the bathroom and take a poo. I don't know what you do when you get home, but you'll start to see everything that I'm doing at this specific time will happen consistently. I can even say every single day when I get out of bed, I have an hour and a half buffer where I do almost nothing and then I get my day started. And lately I've been working on it to where I've cut it back down to 30 minutes, but it's still a very consistent thing. I'll wake up, get out of bed, use the restroom, and then I lay back in bed, get on my phone for about 30 minutes. Once I get out of that, where it's I get out of bed, I use the bathroom, and then I go get to work, things are going to start changing drastically. And that stems from, what am I doing? What are my habits? What are my natural tendencies? And again, that will still stem from what I'm thinking about, where my mind goes, what is my focus. And so, now that you have those things broken down, you can really actually write out a descriptive paragraph of who are you as a person, and look at it from a third person point of view where you're saying, this person I'm talking about wakes up at this time, this person does this, and they think this around this time. Oh my God, my job sucks. Oh my God, here's so much traffic. Oh my God, here's this. And when you can really start breaking that down, saying, okay, the person that I'm writing about right now, this character has these tendencies, this viewpoint, this way of looking at life, and you read it back from a third person point of view and say, I really don't like this person. This person is kind of an a hole. This person is kind of weird. This person's super negative. Then you can actually look in the mirror and say, that's you. And at that point, you're able to actually start disassociating with that old character and mindset that you have, so that you're no longer saying, this is just who I am. No, this is a character you're playing. So once you know who you are and how you are, the next step is you actually need to start thinking about, what do I want to change? What is the dream life I want to have? If everything went perfect, if money wasn't an issue and you knew you would succeed no matter what happened, what would your life look like? What car would you drive? What would your relationship, would you have a spouse? What would your spouse look like? What would your spouse's personality be? Would you have children? What would be your profession? How much money would you have? Would you invest? You want to know every single thing about the life you want to live, the future you need, the future you crave. Because once you're at the point where you know exactly what that future looks like, then you can start to break this down and actually create a new character. So the first thing is you need to have a dream vision. Once you have that dream vision, now you need to say, okay, based on this life, based on this future, based on this dream vision I want to have, who has that life, or who would be capable of having that life? And you need to do the exact same thing. What would this person think about who has a life like this? What would this person think about with a car like this, a wife like this, a husband like this? What would a person who has $150,000 sitting in their checking account do with their money? What would this person do with their free time? What would this person invest in? What would this person have? How would this person relate to their children? What is their fitness level like? How many times do they work out? How much can they move? You need to start breaking down, okay, based on the life I want, who is the person living this life? Because when you have an idea of the life the person lives, now you have an idea of who that person is from their mindset, their physicality, their thought process, their financial ideas, their monetary or their money habits, and everything else that goes into who that person is. What do they do on the weekends? Where do they like to hang out? What are their friends like? When you can know every single thing about that person, then it puts you in a position where you can actually start working on becoming them. And so, how do you actually do that? One, you need to make a personal manifesto. You've gotten a dream out or a dream life, a dream place, and you have a character that you want. You want to be, you want to play. So now you need to make a manifesto saying, this person has my name. This person, Terrell Banks, is a lot of things. He's a king, an entrepreneur, a real estate mogul, a content creator, a coach, a speaker, a man with an undying personal brand. This person wakes up every day grateful to live another day and have an enjoyable life. He has a team and friends and family with undying loyalty to him. This man, he goes out and he rejoices in praying 2 times per day. He has the money hygiene standards of having $10,000 in cash sitting in his room. This man has $250,000 invested and he makes $20,000 a month just off Instagram. He learned how to run Facebook ads and puts $1,200 per month into it, causing him to gain $35,000 in monthly recurring revenue. When you can break down who you want to be so deeply into a personal manifesto and you learn that personal manifesto so intently inside and out, then you'll start to see life through that lens and figure out how to make that happen. And so now, once you have that person, you know their traits, once you know everything, you want to start to write out a essay. Break it down in so much depth and so much detail that you can see every aspect of who they are, how they are, and what they're doing. And once you get to that point where that's completed, now it just becomes a simple game. And how this game plays out is you need to start by having a timeline, whether it's a 5-year timeline, a 1-year timeline, whatever it may be. But once you have your timeline and you know major events that are going to happen along the way, Terrell has hit 10K per month in monthly recurring revenue by this point. Terrell has hit 35,000 in recurring monthly revenue. Terrell started making $20,000 a month consistently from currency trading at this specific time. Now you know what are the things you need to build towards. And how you're going to build towards that is going on 100-day sprints. And this 100-day sprint is very simple. I have an entire template and journal built out to help you take your 100-day sprint and be able to do the most that you possibly can with your fitness, your health, your finances, and your mindset. But how it works in my system is you have a 100-day goal. This is going to be your first big jump that you want to make. And I don't care what it is. Maybe Terrell loses 45 pounds. I mean, if I lost 45 pounds, I'd be a little skinny dude because I'm small right now. But let's say it's Terrell lose 30 pounds. So you want to break down that 100-day goal into 10-day sections. So maybe if you're trying to lose 30 pounds, break that into 10. So every 10 days, you want to lose 3 pounds. And so, okay, now your 10-day goal is lose 3 pounds over the next 10 days. And on a day-by-day basis, over the span of the next 10 days, you're going to have 3 things you need to do to make sure that you're getting closer to that 100-day goal. And so if I'm looking to lose 30 pounds in 100 days, and I want to lose 3 pounds every 10 days, then that tells me one of the things I need to do each day is track my macros. One of the things I need to do each day is work out. One of the things I need to do each day is make sure that I stretch. Now, stretching, tracking my macros, and working out every single day is going to put me in a place where I'm able to actually make sure I lose those 3 pounds over the span of these next 10 days, and I'm able to lose my 30 pounds in the next 100 days. And it's all that simple. And throughout the duration of that, you need to start studying your character. Read your personal manifesto often. You need to really practice being that character. Start going through your day practicing being like them. Practice talking like them. Practice doing what they do. Go to places they would go. Look at things they would look at. One of the things that I know I'm going to have in the future is a McLaren. So I look up McLarens all the time. I go in, I try and customize and design my own McLarens. I go on fucking Zillow and I look at $15 million houses, and I'll be on FaceTime with my boy Tracy and I'll be like, bruh, when I get this house and I'm caked up, like, if you're not up yet, like, I'm gonna toss you this $1 million house, like, just as an investment, brother, just so that you can live that lifestyle and make that money you want to make. And he's like, yeah, but since I know I'm gonna make it there before you, bro, I'm gonna just toss you this house so that you can end up running up the funds while you're sitting lavish. And it's one of those things where it's We have began to live in the character that we want to be so much that it doesn't even sound crazy to us to actually talk about, oh, I'm gonna buy this Corvette, so you better get a matching one. Like, I'm gonna go with blue, you're gonna go with red. Hell no, bro. I want red, you get blue. And I'm like, all right, bro. Like, if you want blue that bad, I'll go with yellow. And he's like, bro, yellow on a Corvette is ugly. That's the thing. We have encapsulated the mindset of the character that we want so bad and so much that we're trying to really figure out what are the steps to actually push us towards that. And one of the things is, like I said, within my personal manifesto, I'm a lot of things: the king, an entrepreneur, a real estate mogul, a currency trader, a speaker, a coach, a man with an undying personal brand. That last part is the only thing I'm in the position to truly be able to make happen right now. And so I'm working on building my personal brand to the point where it's undying, so that a year from now, 2 years from now, 3 years from now, whatever it may be, my personal brand will be big enough to where not only do you guys trust me, but you guys know that Terrell is here to truly help. He showed the journey of him creating the character of his life. So I want to be able to be coached by him. Now I'm able to make money, that monthly recurring revenue, by being the coach and the speaker that I had talked about. And so I'm taking the steps to actually walk that path, because now that I know exactly what I'm trying to do, I have a plan. I took the first step and I have my end goal. All I have to do now is walk forward and continually practice being the character I want to be. And through that journey of practicing to be the character I want to be, so many things have changed. Like, one of the things that I talk about in my personal manifesto is that I am a very social person. I talk to people with ease and enthrall them in conversation full of laughter and witty jokes. When I'm in crunch, man, it don't matter when it is, it don't matter who it is. I'll walk around, give fist bumps, and within moments, I'm having a full blown conversation with people, having them crack up. It's to the point where my client Malcolm ended up calling me Thor, because anytime I raise my hand like this, somebody is walking up to give me a fist bump. I am so well known around Crunch that when I stopped working there full time to only do personal training, so many people have come up and been like, bro, have you quit? Like, what's going on? I never see you around here anymore. People at the front desk that were are my coworkers at Crunch, they're like, hey, bro, this person ended up saying, like, where you been at? Like, people around you around here miss you. My coworkers are like, bro, we miss you. Like, it's just different. We don't have anyone to talk to. Like, the vibe is completely off. Like, when are you gonna start working full time here again? And I'm like, it never. But a year ago, I was not that person. I was a lot more shy. I was a lot more timid. I didn't feel comfortable talking to people. The only reason I started doing fist bumps is because my boss, my mentor, my manager was like, hey, if you want to be able to get clientele, you need to be able to go out and talk to people on the floor. And I didn't have the nuts to actually go out and talk to people. So I said, I'm going to walk around and give people a fist bump. I'll be in their face. I'll go like this, but I'm not going to say a word because I don't want to seem like a weirdo. I don't want to make people uncomfortable. And doing the fist bumps made people uncomfortable until they were like, oh, this guy, he's just going to give me a fist bump as encouragement. And once they realize that, now everybody's like, yeah, give me one, give me one, give me one. And that should be your goal. That should be your process. Learn the person you want to be and practice being them so much for so long that it becomes a second part of your nature, even to the point where you're able to read off areas and sections of your personal manifesto so much, so well, you have it memorized, so that once life starts falling into place in the way that it should, you know exactly what you're going to do because you've already thought about what you would do in that situation. You already know how that situation should pan out, even though you don't know exactly what's going to happen during the interim. You need to embody your personal manifesto so much that your mindset is completely different, because everything comes from your mind. What you be, who you are, determines what you do. So you need to change your mindset into the character of the dream vision you want for your life. Once you have their mindset, you're naturally going to be like, well, man, I'm not doing good with my money, but I know this is what I'm supposed to be doing. So okay, maybe I need to go get a CPA. Oh, I'm spending too much money. I have plenty of money to pay my bills and I have extra left over, but at the end of the month, there's more debt than was last month. So I'm going to start tracking all my spending. Because one thing I wrote in my personal manifesto is that whether it's 1 cent or $10 million, I'm going to know exactly where my money is going and exactly why I spent it. And so I had to take the time to actually build a financial tracker and actually start using it, tracking everything I spend, no matter how small, no matter how minute. But I am starting to practice being the Terrell of the future who's going to make all this money, do all these great things, and have a personal brand with undying loyalty, or an undying personal brand in a group of team, family, and friends with undying loyalty. And I say all this to say, once you have your dream vision, once you have the character you want to be, once you have your personal manifesto and your plan to move forward, all you have to do is continue to practice being that person. Continue to practice, continue to practice, continue to practice. And you'll get to the point where you want to be faster than you would have expected. Now, I've been rambling for some time, but hopefully this brought you some real, true value. If you want the deep dive in the step-by-step course with different worksheets to actually help you create the character, create your dream vision, create your personal manifesto, and everything else you need, a link will be in the description for my course. So feel free to go down, click that button, and it will take you straight to the homepage of what you need to purchase it so that you can begin changing your life. And if you want to be coached, we can figure out how to make that happen.